All right, what's up, guys? This is the latest episode of the Always Race Day podcast. Ryan Blaney just won himself a NASCAR Cup Series championship. We're going to get Caleb, Josh, Noah, everyone on here to break it down in a sec. Really want to thank the Karl Auto Group before we get in the swing of things. Wanted to keep this short, but if you're looking for a car, that's the place to go. They allow us to do what they do, find folks over there. Our presenting sponsors. So thank you once again to the Karl Auto Group for being with us for the entirety of the NASCAR season and everything else too. For the dirt fans, we're working on something a little special. We will have a weekend recap episode coming out soon. It might be out Monday or Tuesday. Just check our Twitter and I'll have something up on that. But without further ado, let's recap a championship. How about that? All right, guys, Josh, Noah, and Caleb are joining me now. Ryan Blaney, the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. I'm sure we'll get to mention Xfinity and trucks like later in the episode, but your guys' first thoughts on Ryan Blaney, I think I just got to get out of the way and say, like, deserving champion. Badass race. Badass finish, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it was really pretty freaking cool to watch him just take it to him, even after losing a couple spots on pit road.
Yeah, that was
in the playoffs, deserving.
Say that one more time.
In the playoffs, he was deserving.
Oh my God, we're doing this again. Do I have to do my rant already? While Caleb's cooking, and I'm not putting him down for this.
You know, Caleb's livid after the first two championships.
Man's gotta eat. But we're on year 10 of this deal, right? Year 9, year 10. At this point, Caleb, you are the embodiment, and you and everyone else with this format thing, the embodiment of the 50-year-olds or higher that see Iowa State wearing black and white uniforms and say the same effing words of complaints and arguments against it, despite having it explained to you, despite knowing it's not going to change anything. And you're just there running your mouths every time until the next time they wear black uniforms again.
Just because we've been doing it for 10 years doesn't make it right.
I never said that. Not once was this about tradition. That's my line. That's my quote.
It's just how it is now. And
here's the thing. Yeah, but again, like we've said before, like when you look down the line and you're like, oh yeah, let's, reminisce about the year 2023. And you're going to be like, who were the guys that were strong that year? And you can name 3-4 guys. And then you're like, oh, which one of them won the championship? Well, none of them did, actually. It's a joke.
None of them won. Ryan Blaney, like, clutch drove his way into it, as did Christopher Bell. It was cool to see.
He is the best out of the 3 series in that example. It got a little bit better throughout the weekend. The truck championship is the worst one.
We'll get to that, but yeah, I want to do the truck thing as
if I may.
I want to do the truck thing as its own separate thing. I don't blame you for bringing it up though. Go ahead, Noah.
If I may, take a small victory lap. I just got my audio working, so that's why I didn't say anything for the first
okay. You didn't tell me it wasn't working.
Let him go off about Blaney.
Well, Noah said we were going to start the show, and then immediately his camera's off, his mic's off, and he's just gone.
No, yeah, there's something wrong with my headset.
Yeah, all right, go off about Blaney real quick.
Those of you that saw my article,
awesome work, by the way.
Will see that I picked Blaney. Thank you.
Awesome work, Noah.
On the last podcast, he did.
And on the last podcast, I said Blaney's going to win it. And some people may attribute that to my predisposition to want Blaney to win the championship. However, I saw the signs coming in, which was that he was clutching up. He was a different version of Ryan Blaney. He was the version that everybody thought he could be. He was potential fulfilled versus potential unfulfilled, like Kyle Petty once said. And
2011 Tony Stewart.
Yeah, I mean, 2011 Tony Stewart, 2018. I wouldn't argue that, but 2018 Joey Logano closer to that for sure. Just showing up in the playoffs when it mattered the most, and he had a really, really good car here in the spring, had a really good car here last year in the fall. And so this is not a surprising result. Does he, quote unquote, deserve it on paper? No. You could argue Byron and Hamlin and Bell all kind of got gypped out of the title, but Bell's brake rotors passed away. Hamlin didn't clutch up, and Byron didn't have a good enough car in the end. And so the NASCAR world that we live in, love it or hate it, that's just where we are. And so it was a fantastic race. All playoff hype aside, it was a fantastic race. I'm surprised Ross Chastain finished it.
I got a quote. Speaking of Ross, real quick here.
Yeah.
This is from Jeff Gluck's Twitter, so I'll just read what Gluck tweeted. But Ross Chastain says he was not going to wreck Ryan Blaney, but he was going to use dirty air in every way possible to keep Blaney behind him. And Ross's quote was, "I knew he was mad. I did not care then. I do not care now. I do not like green eggs and ham. I didn't like them any."
Kind of funny.
I don't even know the rhyme anymore, the green eggs and ham stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. On that, I did want to say, Noah is a big believer of lap cars have no rights. If I'm there racing for nothing or racing for a race win, and I'm holding up a championship contender with dirty air, and he should be past me, but because of this car and how it behaves aerodynamically, I can at least really screw him up for a bit and get him to lose like 0.8 of a second trying to pass me and still not pass me. I don't know. I hope no one races Ross like that when he's going for a title. It'd be a damn shame.
Yeah.
It'd be a damn shame.
It's one of those things where you can't 100% fault him for doing it, because
you're trying to win a race.
That's his job
I
as
get
a race
it.
car driver.
Yeah.
But also, you know, when you're in that situation again, people are going to remember how you handled that when you weren't in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
I'm at my parents' house. If you hear anything drop upstairs, there's like 5 cats, 2 grandmas, and the rest of my family. So, sipping on a Busch Light here, celebrating the end of most of the motorsport season. We still got some USAC races to go and Australia stuff. But you mentioned Kyle Petty too. Kyle Petty had a quote about Ryan Blaney and actually trashed Ryan Blaney and then trashed Casey Kane. And said let me get the actual full quote so I don't screw this up here. I know we said it on here before, but he said Ryan Blaney is the Casey Kane, potential unfulfilled. Everybody wants to talk about what he can do, but he never does anything. And then he just tweeted today, because people kept receipts. People tweeted him a lot after that, after the race today. They remembered what he said about it. And he said, "Thank you for all your kind tweets!" ! I sense a little bit of sarcasm there. He says, "It's always amazing how many of you guys have never been wrong about anything. Congratulations to App Blaney on an amazing drive the last 2 weeks, championship earned." Shout out to Kyle for telling someone congrats and not trashing someone while putting a quote out there. It's the first time he's done so in like 4 months of anything I've seen, at least. God. What I hate is he plays the victim, like acting like it's unfair that people are messaging him because he said something like that. But he trashed on both Ryan Blaney and Casey Kane and then acts like, "Oh yeah, guys, I was wrong. It's simple." He doesn't need to trash on everybody. That's like all the guy does anymore. Every time I see his name in the news, he's throwing someone else under the bus.
I also talked about his tweet in my preview article. I think I recall saying, if Blaney wins the championship this weekend, he'll do something that both Kane and Petty could not and win the championship. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I agree with you at that point. Like, why would you said something controversial. You wanted to be the bad guy, quote unquote, on that issue. Not even
that's the part that rubs me the wrong way the most, because we've had takes that are wrong. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yes.
1000%. You can disagree with me on stuff too, but I'm not throwing out 17 takes on an episode, each one trashing one driver because I don't think he'll do good in the future, and I just decided to trash him that day. I don't get it.
There probably has been episodes where you've done that exact same thing, but
17 drivers, Caleb? Probably for what they've done in the race that day. Sure. Not hypothetically in the
I'm not gonna rule it out. It's very possible.
We do cover a lot
We're
of
more
series
likely to
here.
trash on NASCAR than anything else.
I would
Yeah.
say that for sure. But I mean, like, if I just picked a kid out, like, I was about to. You almost got me, Caleb. Screw you. You were setting me up there.
Ooh.
I'll pick out my buddy Ayrton.
It was like a lob.
Ayrton
Perfect
Geniton.
lob.
Ayrton Geniton's the new Casey Kane. He's unfulfilling, doesn't do anything. How about that? Someone from YouTube can clip that. We'll see if Ayrton gets a championship out of it. Good luck to my bud.
Yeah, give it like a calendar year or so.
Yeah, it'll be in 6 months or so. It'll be in Tulsa Shootout, and he'll be like, "There you go, that counts, right?" Which it does, but no. But back to that NASCAR race. The last 50 laps, like, and especially from that 30 lap mark, I was entertained. I was enthralled with what was going to happen. Kyle Larson just barely didn't have the car for it. If there's 20 laps in that race, we think it's even more epic than it was. You know, there's so many things that I thought, if you're still like bullish on this format and you can't look at that and go, that was cool. Like, I don't know. It worked today.
I made the comment while we were watching it that this was the best race for Phoenix as the finale so far. I feel like it just
Probably behind that.
delivered, and stage one was stage one. Everybody was feeling their car out, but once everybody was able to adjust on it and kind of start messing with it, and once the track kind of started to gain some more grip and develop some more lanes, it really was what everybody was hoping for when this became the finale. I still don't love it as the finale. I still forever and always will say Homestead should be the finale until a meteor crashes into the earth and kills us all. But
yeah, even after what we saw today, I would go Homestead. I think Phoenix puts on a really good like presentation for it. I think they have everything there like figured out with that stuff. It'd be nice if the flag didn't fall out of the car, but I think part of that was Ryan Blaney's inability to hold on to it both while he was burning out and trying to burn the whole city down with his burnout. So, no, that was it was cool after the race. I think Homestead's so perfect for it, and I feel like you get less of a aero race there. And I hate that that's what we're like deciding it on, that we're still talking about aero even with a new car. Okay.
can we talk about the dual burnout?
That's too solid. Yeah, that was too solid.
say-
Too solid of a take for me because no one said a word.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dual
I mean,
burnouts was
I don't have
cool.
anything to compliment.
No, you're good.
Comment on that. Like,
I do think, thank goodness we can like get off of the when is Ryan Blaney going to finish any race?
Yeah,
Like close out.
he went and took it, and he was patient about it too.
he had that dog in him. And I say that like in
Noah is like so smart,
he
and
got that dog in him.
he'll throw out this millennial Gen Z saying just randomly. And
He's him. He's him.
this guy.
Literally, dude. Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
It was a fantastic race.
I like that. What do you like, Christopher Bell? Like that just sucks that we couldn't see him go for it. What does anyone? You guys are more technically, I guess, experienced than I am. Like, was he too hard on the brakes? Is that why the brake rotor blew up?
It was a weird situation.
Got to be setup related because I didn't hear anybody else have brake issues, and I could be talking out of my ass and just not be knowledgeable. But it's probably a setup thing, and he probably was having to use too much of the brake to get the car to do what he wanted it to do, and just probably used it up, honestly, or some
early
failure. Yeah, I mean it's a really, really weird thing. I remember, back 5, 6, 7 years ago, it wasn't uncommon at Phoenix to like melt a bead in your tire and that be what did you in, or before a brake failure. But having just a random rotor failure in early in the race is just very weird. It feels like it would have to be a setup thing or just like a genuine part failure rather than wear and tear, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and It's unfortunate to see him not get to race for that. At least early on, I didn't think he had the speed, but all three of those other guys showed that it changed throughout the race. And Ryan Blaney's car got way better after that second to last pit stop. I don't know what adjustments they made there. That's my MVP of the race, though, for sure. Whatever they did on that pit stop, because it did like 5 laps for him to get his tires set in and everything, and after that, he was zooming.
That team had maybe one bad pit stop. And then, the whole rest of the day, they were on point with adjustments, with pit stops.
You're talking about the last pit stop, right?
I'm talking about a little bit earlier in the race. He lost a couple spots. He went back to about 7th. I think it was.
I was gonna say it was like 11.9 stop or something like that.
He lost
it was
4 on the last
just a little
one,
bit slower.
Yeah, but you got to throw in the
two of those were
equation
two
of the
tires.
two tire guys.
Two cars took 2 tires.
He was a
still passed
9.9. That's
weird.
That's still pretty good.
And then, like Custer yesterday, Custer took it back. He lost it on the restart. He took it back. Blaney, he didn't really, he lost it on pit road, and then he just went out there and took it back.
And he was patient with it. I love that aspect. Just how long he had to stay back there, because he had passed Larson a few times, but it had taken him laps and laps and laps. And he was getting frustrated on the radio, and that's, it's fair. You're going to get frustrated. You're trying to pass for championships. The stakes are way higher. But yeah, it was entertaining seeing those two battle throughout the day. Obviously, get to the end of that one, and it just seemed like Larson had. Do you guys actually? I'll phrase it like this: do you guys think William Byron could have drove any better in the last 30 laps? Because part of me thought he wasn't being aggressive enough when they were closer together. But maybe his car was just that far off.
I think he drove the car the best he could. Maybe he wasn't as aggressive as he probably could have been, but overall, I think he was giving more than what the car was capable of doing. Because that car, just ever since like he said in his interview, like the rubber built in, and like ever since then, it just got tight and it just couldn't maintain with the other guys.
They couldn't adjust on their car like everybody else could. They started off almost unbeatable. And then once the track rubbered up, everybody got a chance to make adjustments, and they just weren't able to keep up with the field or with the track as well as everybody else. And so they still had a great car, still had a great day, but you factor that in. And then towards the end, one thing that I saw immediately on the broadcast, so Byron was kind of trying to mount a charge back at Blaney for the spot while right after he passed him. Busher ends up alongside Byron, and so then they get to battling just a little bit off the corner. It allows Blaney to kind of pull away and set sail on Larson, and so Byron also just kind of had to juggle, the people behind him like Truex and Busher, who were better than him at that point in the race, and so they didn't end up getting past him, but he also couldn't make any ground up at that point either, and so. I think it's just a classic example of a car that started off dominant and they didn't do anything to it to keep up with the track the way they should have. And so, that's the end result. I think he and Larson both gave it absolutely everything that they had, but they just didn't have what the 12 had.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The one other thing I wrote down from the Cup race was Blaney on the in-car camera flipping off Ross Chastain. I think that's the first time I've seen someone flip a guy off on the in-car. Like in my life.
I love it.
It was pretty funny. Shout out our tweet too. It blew up.
We get lucky with some of that stuff.
So did Bell's brake rotor.
All right.
Yeah, right.
Bell's brake rotor was the thing that stood between me going 3-3 on the weekend.
Yeah, they were also coming through the field. I don't know. It does suck that we didn't get to see.
It's a lot of what if. Yeah,
it is. But what a way to end the year.
What if we had this great format back like before, maybe like 4 years earlier before Jeff Gordon retired? I think he'd have a couple more championships.
Caleb, 2012 when he won Homestead.
Oh, there's one. Good job, Noah.
Who
won that year? He's on That was Keselowski.
Keselowski won that year.
Oh, Damon's going to shit on me for saying that. God damn it. Sorry, Damon. Yeah, Jeff Gordon.
Caleb will too.
Yeah, Caleb will also shit on you.
I'm trying to bait him into it. He won't take it. He's just sitting there on mute. He's like biting his tongue until we get to this truck race recap.
He's gonna use all his lung capacity to yell about the truck race.
Nah, I'm over it. Man, just it's stupid.
You can't be over. Nope, we're on the podcast. You're back under it.
You're back into
You're
it.
back under it.
We're here for the fuel and the fire.
No, real quick, once again, thanks to the Karl Auto Group for being our presenting sponsors. We will have all the press conferences on YouTube, so check out the YouTube for that, as well as the podcast. That'll be a regular thing in the future that we're able to do now. So appreciate everybody for that. Check us out there. We can talk Xfinity real quick. Cole Custer, was he plus 2,000 again?
Probably not that much.
Probably
but
not that much, but I like when Cole Custer wins. He's a good dude. He's
I'm
just
an advocate for it.
What's that?
Fun fact: he didn't do it as much as his competitors did this year.
Oh no! What are we gonna?
Correct.
Oh no. I guess he's got one more championship than his competitors do.
Oh,
Draw names out of a hat.
I can name a lot of champions that had less wins than their competitors, or less goals scored, or less touchdowns, or more.
Matt Kenseth,
What
2003.
was it? Coming to the white, it was all 4 championship guys, 4 wide, 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4. That's going and getting it.
Feels
I'm
feels
not-
like they raced it out, Josh. Am I right?
Yeah,
I'm
they
not a
raced it
proponent
out
of the
and they
playoff
went and
okay.
got it.
All right, now on
Either
the
way,
field
they
result.
directly benefits me. I'm not a huge
Nope.
proponent of the format. It's not my favorite, but
It's
in
a
the
pure
context
entertainment
of
factor.
nothing is going to change about me yelling at this cloud that is the playoff format.
You sit and enjoy great championship battle.
Seeing them 4 wide is fucking badass, dude. That's sick. Okay, you have to admit that's cool.
It is, but like we could have that without having it be a one-race shootout.
I mean,
Yeah. No, you have 4 of them tied going into
You
the
got a
last race.
lot.
I think
You got a lot less to lose.
It's really
like,
tough
a
to
lot-
have that.
Yeah, like I mean, that's like people probably aren't going for it as much in that aspect.
They would have to finish. They would have to finish in a 3-race round, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then the same order of drivers, 5th, 4th,
Vice versa.
3rd, and 2nd. And that's the only way we would ever get this in the championship.
Yes, like you're not going to have go-getters like that in a different format.
What are you going to put in a 3-race championship round?
What?
What are you going to put in a 3-race championship round?
Like which tracks?
Yeah.
Just do the last 3 tracks. I mean, you don't have to. It's not like rocket science. You just extend the round.
They're kind of like what we have now.
8
That seems
drivers
like a lot of
for 3
logistical
races.
moving pieces.
Yeah, let's go 8 wide. Let's put 8 drivers in the final race, and then we'll.
Well, that's
just have
not
8
not
wide.
what Caleb's saying. I get like that's the gripe everybody has, but it is set up now how NASCAR wanted it to be. They wanted to have a Game 7 moment. They want all those fireworks in that last race. And I promise you're not getting that with a 3-race round. You're going to be watching the same drivers go after it, but you're going to be like, oh, he's in 2nd and this guy's in 4th, and he has to get to, if he gets to 3rd, he wins, but if he gets to 1st, then he wins. And if this guy gets 17th, he'll actually win because he won the first 2 races in the round, but he's in 19th now, and we're 3 laps to go, and I don't know where the battle's at. And I'm doing math in my head. Whereas this is just, okay, cross the line first, you win. I think it's way easier for the casual fan. I don't know.
That's always what I've advocated is how you break
Yes.
your target environment and get more viewers. This is the way to do it. This is how you get back to what it was back in the day. Where
I don't
everyone-
know if you're ever gonna get that, but
This is the idea, though. This is the goal, and it's obviously, in my opinion, it's advocating for more views
then why
than what
were
the old
ratings
format would be.
down, Josh?
From when.
This year to last, but I know
Well,
why.
what was
I
the
know that
format
answer.
last year?
I say it
Yeah, they were
facetiously.
down this year to last.
Same format.
I think we'll see, but last year to, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago to last year like ran the field with it. Like,
Yeah, well, and the ratings are down this year because of so many events that were impacted by weather. Like that does not help. That's what they said in their state of the sport press conference too.
that's part of it.
I think I knew something.
So yeah, I say that very tongue in cheek. What's the ratings like? But I don't know. I just from a pure entertainment standpoint, it's entertaining. As a racing purist, maybe it's not the best thing, but it's fun. And
It is fun.
that's what it needs to be. If it wasn't fun and it was this, then I'd be like, this is bullshit. Let's change it. But
yeah, in the thing, it's just like, let's get to the truck race because I'm sure we're going to come right back to this point. Ben Rhodes ends up beating Grant Enfinger. Grant, friend of the podcast, very sad for you, buddy. Congrats on the runner-up, though. Really appreciate you coming on just a year and a half ago. But damn, let's see if you can go get one in 24. Hopefully Stuart Friesen's in the Final Four with you. No, Grant could have taken out Ben.
He went for it. I'm not gonna think.
I don't think he went for it. No. I don't. I watched that replay. I don't think he went for it.
He could have sent Ben to the cactus on the front stretch.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he went for it at all.
He went for it cleanly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I was saying he could have sent him.
He wasn't gonna dump him, but if he drove in there with the intent of trying to get the bumper, but without obviously like
Ben
drilling
Rhodes
him
could have been
20
best
miles
friends
per hour
with the
faster.
cactus
Oh no,
on the
I would
flagstick.
have wrecked him and said I would have wrecked my grandma to win too. Like it's champion.
Tony.
That's the whole thing. Like that would be the one time where the other guy like would look around and go, yeah, that's fine. Wrong place, wrong time. At least I think. Maybe you're gonna be pissed. I don't know. But Caleb, do you have
All I care is we got another Ben Rhodes interview.
But
Yeah.
what did it cost?
Oh man.
Dinosaurs aren't real. That's what it costs.
The Ben Rhodes
costs
is
the-
like drunk
A little
alter ego.
times left.
Ben Rhodes' drunk alter ego is like one of my favorite people in the world. It's so funny.
Ren bodes.
And if you can't find enjoyment in that and you're gonna walk around all weekend and bitch about the format and that, like just go get a life, I guess. Find something fun. Pretend it's fun, I suppose. But I loved it. I had one guy that was really pissed at Ben Rhodes on Saturday for doing that. And that's like the only negative comment I've seen from it. So
I'm
Caleb,
disappointed for
hold on.
Heim.
Yeah, so we gotta talk this. Corey Heim and Carson Hocevar. There's 37 to go in the race or so, and Hocevar goes in a little too high, accidentally wrecks Corey Heim. I believe it was an accident from what he was saying on his radio. I think on the restart after that, I think Hocevar like either drove very passively and allowed cars to pass him, or just said like I don't deserve to win this by staying up the front here, and just went to the back.
I think he was just so upset and like frustrated
He's
with himself.
distraught.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't focused up like he, would have been.
So Caleb, I got to ask you on this. I'm sure you have a rant on this, but Corey Heim comes back later on, takes out Carson Hocevar, and basically cost Grant Enfinger the championship. Now, I do want to say I don't think he cost him the title because I don't trust the Truck Series roster to stay green in the final 10 laps.
I mean, the whole thing was just a disaster. So it's hard to even say like, well, if this, then this. If this doesn't happen, this, that, this, because there was so much like. It wasn't like there was like one caution and that was like the deciding factor. There was 30 laps of overtime. So, yeah, it's definitely wasn't Heim's finest moment. If he could have just kind of kept his head on, who knows what could have happened.
I was fine with it. He got wrecked.
Well,
you wrecked the guy. He was going to win the race. You wrecked the guy back.
yeah, but if there's another caution or whatever, I mean, you stand the chance to still get a championship at that point until you junk your own truck. So from that perspective, I'm all for like I totally understand and think it was fine that he also wrecked Hocevar, but that probably wasn't the time or place because you still have a chance. That was like Noah today during the Cup race kept saying like, oh, well, Blaney might get to Chastain and wreck him. Why would you even risk that chance? Why would you even risk it? So like if I'm Heim, I know
if you can dump a guy and drive away, like you're good.
Yeah, but you don't know that. I mean, that's not how like.
That's not what Heim ended up doing either.
Well,
Yeah, like
riddle, answer me this because I
No,
was
Josh, do that again. Say riddle me this.
riddle me
hear what
this.
is.
It's not really a riddle me this, but it's more of like a I need an answer because I missed.
Yeah.
I missed it like this part because I was kind of watching on my phone without sound. Did Heim get penalized for taking out Hocevar?
No, and the reason he didn't was because after the race, they asked him if he did it on purpose. And he said, no, I didn't even see that he was there.
Well, okay. I was just more the fact of did they penalize him like right after?
Oh,
He said,
no, they
"Oh
didn't.
no, it was
They
side
didn't there.
force."
But this is-
Okay.
That's crazy.
yeah, he said the side force
Sorry,
got to him.
My grandmas were saying goodbye to me. Should I go up and... Oh, it's
Goodbye, Connor's
I'll call them
grandmas.
tomorrow.
Goodbye, Connor's grandma.
I just yelled up there. Yeah. No, but this is another example of what NASCAR created when they penalized people for wrecking people, because the comments on the tweets of that quote were just dragging Corey Heim. This piece of shit kid getting everything spoon-fed to him his whole life, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't
No,
ever
that's
do
the
anything.
guy on.
Fifth
Nope,
all
that's
year, guys.
the guy on the other end.
No. Yes, I get what you're saying. These are just comments I was reading last night or Friday night. Everyone against him because he lied and said, I didn't see him there, didn't mean to wreck him. And it's just
Why-
to get penalized.
Okay,
He
I was gonna
benefits
say.
from nothing by going, yeah, I fucking killed him, going in the corner.
Yeah,
like-
literally.
He
Hamlin
benefits
said
from
this-
it when it's a big quote online and it's like a funny,
Yes.
like,
Hamlin
literal
says the same
quote,
thing at
literal
Phoenix
video of
earlier
him
this
saying-
year.
What's that?
Hamlin says the same thing at Phoenix earlier this year and admits to it, and boom, money fine.
I know.
Points fine. Like,
Don't fine him
which
for
is
that
why
shit. You should be able to say you wrecked someone on purpose and not get fined, not get penalized. That should be a total fine thing to do, because otherwise you're calling your
boys,
driver.
have at it. Bring it back.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's so stupid to me because it's every time it happens and no one's smart enough to remember that, like, that's why they're lying.
Heim had every right to take Hocevar out, and Grant had every right to go break his nose after the race for doing it. Like, it
I
just,
agree.
just
Yeah.
Which even Hocevar was like, that's fair. Like,
the
in
wonderful
the end
world
of the day,
of the
he
NASCAR
was,
Craftsman Truck Series.
yeah, at the end of the day, Hocevar was like, even.
I know I'm not.
And
Talking,
like, kudos to him.
This won't come as a surprise. Grant is much more mature than I am. I would have ripped his head off.
No, and Enfinger handled that with more class.
No,
than
I would have
anyone
gone. I would
else
have gone to
ever
get a
has.
hockey jersey out of my closet in my RV, get some gloves on, and like
And then
gloves
throw the
out.
gloves
Yeah, a
off.
little distraction. Get the jersey over. Yeah.
It definitely was not the finest moment for several Truck Series drivers.
Well,
More like
I also want to know,
the
like,
Truck Series
I also
drivers.
want to know how many people were complaining about the Truck Series that just don't watch Truck Series races. A lot of people expose themselves.
Well, did you also see, like,
They have shit
Every-
shows like
all the
once a
cup-
month.
all the Cup guys just ran Hocevar to the ground, too?
All the Cup guys ran the entire series to the ground by the end of
Well,
the night.
yeah, but, I mean, was it Reddick's comment?
Yeah,
Well,
he
it was
called him
like
a
one of the-
dumbass. Yeah.
Brett Moffitt,
like-
Brett Moffitt stuck up for Caleb. He tweeted, "Unbelievable." There you go, Caleb. He's on your side.
I just like, yeah, that truck race finish was like an embarrassment to the Truck Series, but also at the end of the day, like,
That
it,
series
it was entertaining.
So, well, I don't know if I'd call it entertaining because at a certain point,
The whole
when-
playoff aspect,
when you
and
have these-
mostly.
when you have these races like this, because the Truck Series is notorious for doing stuff like this, especially in
Yes.
their finale. They've done it before. And
Yep.
so I believe that the Truck Series would benefit from two things. Number one, I think that if you want to have a playoffs, quote unquote, that's fine. I don't think I'd make it the elimination style. I don't know if I like that for them, the way that they have raced and everything.
I
just-
like it even more for the trucks and like for the younger, like for the minor leagues.
I will understand.
Like,
Like,
give me some excitement rather than like watch a guy run away from it. And I thought like Heim wrecking himself, that showed he didn't want the championship. To me. Sorry, John,
And-
I cut you off. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. So going back to it, obviously, I know you mentioned it, and I obviously know this, that Stuart Friesen, great guy on the podcast, but
Friend of the show,
what
by
was
the
it?
way, ruined his night.
but the Martinsville race when he was in a must win and literally right reared someone on the front straightaway to try to get in.
Yeah, we'll cut
Like,
this part
the
out.
Truck
Don't worry,
Series
Stuart. I
guys-
got you. If
The
you're
Truck
watching
Series
this right
guys
now, something
will-
went horribly wrong.
They will kill someone to try to get in. Like, they will ruin someone else's truck to do whatever it takes to move on.
They'll do it on accident. I remember, man, it was, I think, 2021, and I had a buddy in town for the weekend at my parents' house, and we woke up at 11 a.m. to watch, like, a Pocono race, and they, like, could not finish it. I mean, there was, like, 2 green flag laps completed in the entire race, and it's only gotten worse. There's just a lot of young kids in that series that still have to learn how to drive higher horsepowered cars that drive a little differently than stock cars. And you can tell me that ARCA cars go faster at Daytona. That's completely fine with me. This happens at every other racetrack.
Yes.
But
Well,
that's
and
the
that goes into my. Oh, go ahead, Caleb. Go ahead. I'll wait.
That's
You're good.
the model now, though, is like you're just getting these people in here that's how they are, and it's not going to change, and it's so deeply ingrained. I mean, it's
Your money drivers.
Well,
they're-
and the money output from NASCAR that goes to the Cup Series, that compared to like Xfinity and trucks, it's like 90 to 10%. 10% being Xfinity and trucks combined. And I think the trucks are like 3 or 4 and Xfinity's 6 or 7 then. They need to get some more money into that truck series so that there's less pay for play riders.
well, but here's
And
the
so-
thing too.
Drive, sorry.
The thing is, along with the model, so like you have built a championship based off of winning. The only way that you basically stay in the series, unless you're like fully funded, is by winning and being a champion. And you can't tell me, like, okay, Cole Custer, he doesn't have to drive through anybody because daddy is the vice president of the company. Okay, so he doesn't have to make a name for himself.
Why are you
or go
throwing a
to-
shot at Xfinity champion Cole Custer?
Listen,
The
Yeah.
Xfinity champion.
listen. Most of those guys, like John Hunter Nemechek, deeply rooted in Toyota, like he's got his future plan. But then you go to the truck guys, and you've got your people like Ben Rhodes, you've got your people like Carson Hocevar. Like, they're not guaranteed to be around if they're not performing. So I think in the truck series, you look at the truck series, and you could go very deep in the field to find, half, 3/4 of that field is in a situation where unless they make a name for themselves, they won't have a name and they won't be in the field. So I think that's a lot of it too, is you've basically said, okay, you want to be successful, you have to win championships and races. And in order to do that, you kind of have to be aggressive sometimes. And so I think we've put these people in this position, and we've essentially kind of set them up for failure. And now we're like, why is this happening? Like, but you've taken all these people and you're like, you want to stick around, you need to win. If you want to get championships, you need to win. But now when it's, I'm going to do whatever I need to win, we're like, well, why are you doing this?
Well,
And so
I don't know. I think like the minor leagues have been like that though. Like, you need to stick out. It's easier to stick out now when the Cup guys aren't coming down and racing more than 5 times a year. And
It is, but
I'm gonna say a couple names that would agree with you. Stephen Light, Scott Wimmer, even though he ran Cup for a bit. Guys that didn't get.
Hocevar's
really,
getting a
really
Cup ride
awesome
next year. I don't know why you're talking
Yeah.
about if he doesn't win a championship, he'll be out. I think he's getting a Cup ride next year. That's the rumor.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Is you hold that championship forever. So like, let's say that this Cup ride fails, he goes to the next team, and there's a big difference in, it's Carson Hocevar versus it's Truck Series champion Carson Hocevar. Like, it makes a big difference. And that's where I say too, with like Hunter Nemechek has been dominant. He had a dominant,
Xfinity champion Daniel Suarez missed the playoffs this year by a lot.
and you know what? He's still the Xfinity Series champion. If he performs, if he performs like he has been, you probably say, well, you get rid of him. But like the marketing behind that, you like that's the thing people need to understand too.
Jeff Green's a former Busch Series champion.
And look how long he stuck around. No, but
You
Jeff
put
Green
yourself in a
is
corner with this
right,
argument.
right,
If we
right.
can just get some more examples, if you give me and Noah like 24 hours, we're just gonna like have a 70 driver list.
I don't even
You
need
have
that.
to
I need
explain
24
why
minutes tops.
this is different. Oh yeah, go for it, Noah.
That's the thing with sponsors too, though, is it makes a big difference if you go to, X company and use not the actual company X, because that would just be stupid. But if you go to, blank company and you say, hey, I want sponsorship for my driver, he finished 4th in that truck series that one time, or he is a truck series champion, I can tell you which one companies would rather get behind. So
yeah,
there's a
I think
lot that comes to it. And I do think John Hunter Nemechek is a great example. He dominated a truck series season, should have been like the champion, didn't. Then, like this season, he dominated the Xfinity series, should have really, been the champion. We should be looking at John Hunter Nemechek and saying, this kid now has won a truck series championship. He's won an Xfinity series championship. We should be talking about how John Hunter Nemechek is like, lighting up the world and a dominant force. But now we're looking and we're like, well, he hasn't done shit.
I disagree. I think John Hunter
he hasn't won.
Nemechek's one of the best guys who isn't in Cup full time right now. I'd put him top 3 in my
Yeah,
ranking.
John Hunter Nemechek hasn't done shit except
You just have to not be dumb.
NASCAR Cup race at
no,
Texas.
John Hunter Nemechek is super successful, really good. Fought his way into the truck, had to go back to the truck series, proved himself without even winning a championship, and could have won another one this year, and he's still good. It doesn't make him worse. You don't call him championship less John Hunter Nemechek.
Okay.
The minor leagues would benefit, in my opinion, and this is a little bit of a segue, but this was part 2 of my points here. The truck series in particular would benefit from some more veteran full-time talent, I feel like if I'm Ryan Newman, why around part-time for Rick Ware and Karl
Racing.
Shade? He was 34th today. That's piddling around.
Well, Matt Crafton hid behind the stack of tires. Matt Crafton hid behind the stack of tires to punch Nick Sanchez in the face. So I don't know if we need more veteran leadership, if we need more veteran drivers, or if we need more veteran.
I'm not saying that the young talent's going to benefit.
No. It's the leadership. It's the leadership aspect of, if you want those kids to learn things, you need to teach that. You need to have the guys that race against them every week teach them and not be dumb. We've seen veterans.
But then you also have
dumb things.
You also have the issue of, then you get 2 dudes mad at each other, and one of them's 16 and the other one's 42.
Yeah, it's sports. They can fight. I'm so this is the immaturity in me coming out. You're sporting competitors. If you don't want the 16-year-old to get punched in the face, get one of the big pit crew members to walk with him back to the garage or whatever. I'm not advocating for anyone jumping people. I'm not trying to say that.
I hope not.
But if you're worried about that, there's easy ways around that, which just includes the guy that is fueling the car with gas to walk back with the driver. That's simple, right? But it just goes into this whole thing of, we have these kids put in this position and then they do something dumb and then everyone hates them for it. And it either looks like they learn or they just absolutely do not. And I can't remember the ratio to it, but the ones that came away looking like they learned from it are very slim.
And so another thing too, somebody actually asked me about this. What's the Cup Series going to look like as far as young tech goes, let's say in about 5 years? Because the era of Gordon and Johnson and Stewart, Edwards, Earnhardt Jr., Harvick, it's over now. With Harvick gone, you're putting Barry in that car. The veteran leadership in the garage now is Truex Jr. and Hamlin, and then Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. Those are your kind of now. And so those guys, all conceivably, I mean, with the exception, I think, everybody feels like Truex is any day now. Hamlin, within the next 5 years, but like Busch and Keselowski and Logano still got a lot left in the tank, at least 5-10 years. And so all this young talent that's coming through the ranks, and there's a lot of it, and we all know that, it's starting to feel like we might be, and I mean, I'm pressing the panic button in a hypothetical, maybe a little too soon, but I'll fully acknowledge that. Might be headed kind of a little bit for like that late 2000s stalemate, if you will, where we were having guys that were winning Rookie of the Year, not running the full schedule because all the full-time rides, are filled, and they're filled for the foreseeable future with these young drivers. And so, seeing some of these older guys just straight up retire, some of them will not end up really going through the ranks. So like somebody like Ben Rhodes, who's only like 25 or something, 26, if I remember correctly, he could be in the Truck Series for a long time, just purely because the doors may not open as often as it feels like they have been opening in the last 5 or 10 years here. And so I think that'll be something that'll be interesting to see, and that's something that will be very interesting to watch as time progresses, because I think that if some of these guys, if we get some more Truck Series lifers, some more Xfinity lifers like Allgaier, for example, you'll see the product kind of improve a little bit, just because the young talent will have nowhere to go, really. And so it'll either be young guys are staying in the developmental series, quote unquote, for a long period of time, or these guys, when they make it to Cup, if they don't perform, all of a sudden they're doing a John Hunter Nemechek and they're in the Truck Series again, or in the Xfinity Series again, kind of like what De Benedetto did, just as an example. And so really, I know I've kind of been rambling about it, but really it'll just be interesting to see what this changing of the guard for the sport really means, because I know that this weekend star power was something that got discussed quite a bit. Well, your stars are here. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, all first-time champions in the last 3 years. Your stars have arrived. They're maturing before your eyes, and they're becoming household names as each year progresses. And so the guard has changed. It's officially changed. With Harvick gone, I feel like it's a completely different era. And so these guys in 10 years will be household names, and they'll be legends of the sport as well. And so they'll be interesting to watch. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to add.
Good story. That's
Thanks, Josh. Hard
Can we
hitting analysis from you.
Can we talk about how Harvick ended with yet another consecutive top 10 finish at Phoenix?
Harvick is a guy that never fell off. He never lost a beat his entire career. Kevin Harvick was a contender. Even if he had that really, really long winless stretch after he won the 500. He didn't win again until 2010. He still was competing for wins.
It was literally all Stewart Haas.
Yeah, he put that whole team on his back this year. He's the epitome of a Hall of Famer, and the sport will be worse without him. It will be fun to see him in a broadcast role. And I really especially liked his interview with NBC talking about his desires and his dreams for that broadcaster role, and some of the things that he wants to do with that. So
yeah, that made me like him.
He's great for the sport. It'll be fun.
That made me like him a whole lot more, what he said about that. And not, I tweeted this part of it. You guys are going to immediately jump to, oh, he likes it because he said something about F1. But he said, we have the same star power. We have just as many big names. We have just as many storylines. We just have to tell them. And I fully believe that. He's very, very much correct. I'm excited to see what he can do there. And salutations to Eric Almirola, too. God, there's no good way to say that word. I'm retiring salutations.
No,
I'll put it. I will put a swear jar next to my laptop. I'm not saying that again.
I'll be saying sayonara.
Yeah, Eric Almirola's surprise win at New Hampshire was a memory I won't forget in a long time. That was like it was a big upset that day. It was cool. I mean, fun career for him. He got to live out his dream. Whether or not you thought he stayed in the car too long, he brought that sponsor with him, and Still got wins every here and now, and Chase Elliott didn't get a win this year. So I think they need to make a change by
And he
number 9.
conducted himself the right way.
Yes, that we should not stop with Eric Almirola. I changed subjects too early. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Eric was always just a great dude. Is Greg Biffle maybe a little less spicy? Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. He was good for the sport.
Plain bagel, plain cream cheese, decent breakfast. Yeah,
he was a very, very consistent, solid driver. He could bring you home a good finish if you needed it, and he'd pull out a win every so often. I mean, he got that rain shortened Daytona win for Petty. He won Talladega in 2018. He almost made the Final Four in 2018. Finished 5th or 6th in points that year, actually. And so he was just a very solid, consistent driver, won at every level, and was good for his sponsors. So he'll also be missed.
Yeah, absolutely. Good new quote from Blaney's press conference. He was asked about his run-in with Ross Chastain, and I don't know what the question leading into it was, but it says, well, fucking right, I hit him on purpose. He blocked me 10 times on purpose and was backing me up to Larson.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, yeah, Ross is right to do that, but it'll come around eventually.
in Caleb's very fair world, because we have to treat everybody the same way and we don't put context into anything, we are fining Ryan Blaney and we're penalizing him 50 driver points. He'll now finish 4th, and Kyle Larson will win the title. Congrats, Caleb. That's a deserving champion now.
Okay.
Dude, the Dirt fans listening are going to love you at the end of this episode. You got to be their favorite person. You've completely redeemed yourself on their side of the shoes.
Was I not their favorite to begin with?
When you almost said what did we say? Danny Lasowski, Jim Kohler, and then I made up a third name, and you had to pick the sprint car driver, and you waited 30 seconds to figure out your answer. I think they started hating you then.
No, because I think I started to say something, but then you started to talk over me.
We did set Caleb up pretty bad for that, so that's on us mostly.
And I still got it right.
You did still get it right. That was the impressive part. I know you had a 1-in-3 shot, but we were very confident you weren't going to get it. Because I think the name I made up we were like, that sounds like a dirt guy. Yeah, he'd be a dirt racer. Oh, man. Fun season.
Yeah, I still got it right, and I don't think I looked that one up.
Yeah, no, you're good. I guess I'll leave you guys. We'll end on this question. How many championships does Ryan Blaney end with in his career? Josh says 2.
I was thinking 2. I was thinking 2.
I was gonna go 3, but I was like, it just kind of depends, because obviously he's shown flashes of not having the speed,
It's
or
so hard to
Penske
win
not having the
consistently in
speed.
this format.
Yeah, I say 2.
I want to also say right now, though, that Joey Logano will be in the Final Four next year.
Oh yeah,
Because he alternates.
Even numbered year.
Even year.
He has
So
been.
Caleb's booking it.
I literally said something too, and my grandpa was like, "Oh, that's just coincidence," and I was like, "It's been 8 years now. I don't know."
It's
9 years.
It's
technically, right?
scripted.
Yeah.
It's scripted.
Real quick, why don't we market Final Four appearances more? To your point of the Xfinity Championship thing.
As far as what?
Xfinity Final Four contender, John Hunter Nemechek. Truck Series top 4 finisher, championship race participant. You can word that.
They only ever market those for the
It's a
Cup
Final
Series
Four
every year this time of year.
So you say to the sponsor, he was a Xfinity top 4 series contender, which is the equivalent to like making the Final Four in March Madness, because that's copyrighted.
Or like runner-ups.
You kind of have to finish
care
second
about
to do the runner-up thing, but yeah, same difference. But
Well,
why don't we value Final Four appearances? I think we should. There's a ton of guys tied at the top of the Cup one for 5 of them.
It's not a championship. That's what we're here
It's a
for.
it's a Final Four comparison, and then you say they're not deserving. But then I say, like, here, how about this? We can at least alleviate it a little bit. And you go, this is stupid. Throw it out the window.
Because you can't just like make it up. We
I'm not
don't
making
just
anything
say,
up.
like,
It's a stat.
I know, but like, okay, but if we're gonna go off stats, let's talk about the Truck Series stats.
Okay, then Corey Heim, most wins, 2023 Truck Series. There. I
You
fixed
look at 38 different categories, and your truck champion was not the best in any of those.
No, I
38.
saw the graphic you're talking about, and he's listed right in the top, front and center. It says champion, and then it says Ben Rhodes right next to it. It's what it says. And I wish with everybody else that it said Grant Enfinger. I do. But it says Ben Rhodes. He's on the graphic. There you go. By the way, when have you like pointed out one of those stats and said like he led in this stat and that's why he won the championship?
He didn't lead in any of those. That's why his name isn't listed under any of
No,
those.
but no one's ever said like, oh well, he didn't lead in top 10 percentage, so screw him.
I know, but the thing is, he's like, you pull out all of it, and he's not on any of it.
There's a lot of arbitrary stats on there. I'll go find some that have.
That's correct. There is a whole bunch of arbitrary
I
ones.
did.
But the
Drunkest
point is,
press conference. He's got 2 of those. Okay, it's 2 more than anybody else.
Give me about 4 press conferences, and I'll take care of it.
It's going to be tough to beat. The rumor was that like 10% or 10 minutes before his presser, he was completely sober, which I don't think he was completely sober. Davey Siegel's smart. He wouldn't. I don't think he was. That's who put it out there. I don't think he judged him or anything. But I think they drank a lot of champagne in 9-10 minutes. He wasn't as drunk as the first one. I don't think.
he also has said though, like he made the comment that he doesn't drink a lot, so his tolerance probably isn't that high either.
Lightweight
So,
Ben Rhodes?
Yeah.
well, plus keep in mind too, you're in Phoenix in a car for 3 hours. Like you're gonna
You're
be
dehydrated. Yeah, you're low on body fat. Like I don't know if it's the same in trucks, but
Low on body fat, high on.
Chase Elliott loses 9 pounds every time he races.
I should just start driving race cars, guys. I'd look really good.
I think you have to gain it back during the week, so
no.
you don't operate at a
You
deficit.
also don't have to drink
I
water.
have to.
You have to drink water and able to like sustain that.
There's
And you
water and
struggle.
beer.
No, I just drive race cars.
There's water in Busch
Somebody
Light.
put me in a car. That's my weight loss program.
Putting you in a car.
Yeah, put me in a race car specifically.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Not just
I
a
was
car.
wondering.
Yeah, if I lost weight every time I got my Nissan, I'd be in Des Moines every day, just as part of my workout. I'd just go drive.
Oh man. Yeah, considering Ben Rhodes is like Josh's size too. Like, there's no. Yeah, I can see the low tolerance. That wasn't a short joke to Josh.
What the fuck?
All right, yeah, it came off bad because I was waiting 30 seconds to say it. I probably should just threw that one in the trash. You guys do like, you don't look alike, but I feel like if you grew out your hair like his, you could. Close enough.
Thanks,
Ben
Connor.
Rhodes stuff. Okay.
Yeah, take it as a compliment. That's good. Yeah. Hell yeah. No, I think that's all I got.
There's worse things to be called.
Is there anything? Yeah. Is there anything?
That's all I got.
Anything you guys want to end on? Are we good?
I just
Congrats
What
to
a
Josh
season.
Chastain for winning today. There, mentioned it.
Yeah. Congratulations to everybody that won this weekend. Congratulations to everybody in the industry on another great year.
Let's just say
We are the first people that will be highly critical. We are the first people that will be highly critical.
There's no we are not the
But,
first people that will be highly
yeah.
critical. We're like the 15th.
I will.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. Yeah, next year, Noah,
Yeah.
everything someone screws up, I need a tweet in 15 seconds.
I can make it happen.
Yeah, typos
Instant
galore, we'll go back
reaction.
and edit.
Yeah. Instant react. I will type like an 80-year-old man on Facebook.
Man,
But,
fun
yeah.
season. Congrats to Ryan Blaney. Noah nailed it. I don't know if you guys read his preview. He freaking kicked it out of the park. I loved it. So we'll have stuff up on YouTube and everything. Check out the website. Look for the Dirt Show Monday or Tuesday. I'm working on a couple of things with that, but either way, we'll recap it one of those days. There's a doubleheader basketball game in Ames tomorrow, so I will be there most of the day. But just look for that. We're busy time of year, crossover season in my neck of the woods, but doing a lot of stuff, getting ready for a big 2024. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to Spotify, like everything. Tell Karl Auto Group that we're awesome. Go buy a shirt. Go to our pen tweet, buy a shirt. Support us any way you can. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait for 2024 to see all your faces again. So appreciate you guys, and congratulations again to Ryan Blaney and Team Penske for winning the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series championship.